gone up into the Catskills, and we didn't realise, but she had Basie and Sinatra playing for her.
Really?
But I wasn't into that kind of music, so I didn't mind that much anyway. But that week in New York, we went to the Paramount to see Alan Freed, because we were supposed to be going on tour with Alan Freed. We went to meet him at the Paramount, went backstage, and let me tell you the people in this show. It started at 10 in the morning and finished at 10 at night.
Go on.
They repeated the show 4 times.
Give us their names, Chaz, go on.
The Moonglows, the Cadillacs, the Satins, Chuck Berry, Screaming Jay Hawkins, Big Joe Turner, Teddy Randazzo, the Chuckles, Clyde McFatter, Ruth Brown, Laverne Baker, Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, Lewis Lyman and the Teen Chords, Paul Anka came on in short trousers, the Kalin Twins, the Everleys, and a couple of women jazz tromboners. I've never remembered her name. And that was just the show.
That was
two numbers each.
Did you watch the whole show?
Watched the whole show.
Oh, well.
I went backstage to meet them all.
Did you?
No camera, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, well, what memories that is. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't meet them in your life, would you? The whole lot.
And my washball player was a photographer, so he always had a camera, but he didn't have a camera with him that time. And the same thing happened when we met Buddy Holly. And we met Buddy Holly at the Hammersmith Odeon. Went backstage and had a chat. And his manager wouldn't let him have a photograph taken with us because they just had a fight. The Buddy had a fight, and his 2 front teeth had been knocked out, and he couldn't smile. He smiled and there was a big gap there. So his manager said, no pictures.
But you chatted with him?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure Dave and the guys here loved that.
Yeah, we couldn't believe the sound that Buddy Holly got on stage was the same sound as he got on record. Nobody could get that sort of the record sound on stage, but he did.
Yeah.
And I said, well, how do you get that sound? He said, well, it's the amplifier. And he pointed out a little amp, no bigger than that, a bit more squat than that. And he said, is that? And I said, well, what's so good about that? He said, well, pick it up. And it was an Ampeg, A-M-P-E-G. And I went, I couldn't move it. I said, what's it? It's full of sand.
Is that what it was?
The back was full of sand. So I don't know how they did
You
it.
go, Dave.
Whether it was loose or in bags or God knows what, but that's what he reckoned.
You know what's going to happen now, Chaz? Everyone's going to leave here, go down onto the beach, and you'll see all the musos in here, filling a bucket up with sand. Don't do it, I wouldn't advise it, no. But wouldn't that be great? Yeah. King Rat.
Oh, yes.
I'm not being abusive, by the way. King Rat, you know the Water Rats, you've all heard of the great work that they do. Chaz, obviously, in his time as a member, but you also was King Rat as well, wasn't you?
As was another Liverpool lad, Frankie Vaughan.
Oh, great guy, Frankie Vaughan, yeah. He was a nice guy. Tell us a little bit about your King Rat days.
Oh, well...
what you can tell us, anyway.
What you can tell anything. Yeah. I was King Rat 2 years running. There's only ever been, since 1889, there's only ever been 880 water rats. And there's never more than 200 at one time. And over the years, we've had everybody in the Water Rats, from Laurel and Hardy to Charlie Chaplin to Danny Kaye. And currently, we've got people, believe it or not, like Brian May, Rick Wakeman, and Nico McBrain, the drummer with Iron Maiden.
Really?
Yeah, he's a Water Rat. He's a great friend of ours. Actually, Irena and I went over with Iron Maiden to Moscow, and we flew over in their own plane, piloted by Bruce Dickinson, the lead singer. And we stayed a night in Moscow and saw the show, and flew back again the following night, which was even more frightening because this Bruce Dickinson had been on stage running around for 2.5 hours, really running around. And then an hour later, he's flying us back to Britain. It was quite terrifying.
Was you more terrified about what he might have taken, or was you more...
No, I don't think they don't seem to be on that sort of stuff. You know, they're more interested in the music.
They've probably done all that anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So highlights, Chaz, what highlights?
The Water Rats was as I say, one year I was king, and at the end of the year we have a ball, and we sort of finish it with a big flourish. And the first year Brian May came and sang guitar. We did a Lonnie Donegan number together on film. And the second year I was King Rat, I had a finale playing. Well, I booked the Chris Barber Band, so the Chris Barber Band came along, and I sang a couple of numbers with Chris. Then for the finale, it was Chris on bass, Rick Wakeman on piano, Joe Brown on mandolin, Brian May on guitar, my daughter on washboard, and me singing. And we sang Freight Train, and we did Mama Don't Allow, and then Brian did a blues song, sort of Lonnie type blues song. And it was absolutely, I've got that on film, that on film, and it's fantastic.
So you're still in the Water Rats, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
That's a little pub down by King's Cross, is it?
We've got it's not, it's a pub where a lot of groups play these days. It's like a, it's pardon?
The Guy and Gimble, Villiers Street.
The Guy and Gimble was a coffee bar in Villiers Street.
That's it, you sure played there.
Yeah. Yeah. But this one, the Water Rats, is a pub in the what's the road called? The hotel, the hospital. Gray's Inn Road. Yeah, it's a pub in Gray's Inn Road. It used to be called the Pinder of Wakefield, and in the old days, Bob Dylan played there as a guest, and Karl Marx used to live there. You know.
Wow.
Yeah. But now it's a pub, and the Water Rats have the premises above, and Jim Marshall Amplifiers, has contributed to the lifts, so they've got the lifts put in there by Jim, and Bob Potter, who owns Lakeside and does all the dance, he's sponsored this and built complete new premises there, because they're all companion rats. We have companions as well as people in the business.
Yeah. It's a great thing. You
fun.
look great in that picture with your big King Rat sash and
People think it's a Masonic thing, but it's sort of based on their sort of ritual at one time, but it's not Masonic at all.
But it's nice to get that accolade, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
So highlights.
Well, currently King Rat is Joe Pasquale.
Is it really? Oh, really? Yeah.
Good night, Joe.
Yeah.
He's so. He tells a lovely story. He says. I've just been doing pantomime. He says, and you know you do pantomime, he said, you get the kids up on stage and you ask them to do a bit of business. And he said, I got these kids up on stage, and I said to the first one, I said, what's your name, son? And he said, John. And I thought, John? That's can't get much out of that. So he says, I said to the next one, I said, what's your name, son? And he says, God. I said, God? He said, yes, and he goes like that. And he says, it could have been God, because God moves in mysterious ways.
I'll tell you what, Jazz, when you was doing the sort of blowing kisses before and talking like that would be really good. Listen, we've had a great time. We want to move on because there's a lot of music to come this afternoon. We've got Emma on after this, and he has driven a long way, and he is. I do say he's a genuine lovely guy, because when he came in today, everybody came over and said, wow, how are you doing and everything, and he's got a lot of friends in here, I know that, So we have to say thank you. We're going to see him later on, and we hope that you're all going to join in. I don't know how strong this stage is, Chaz, but what we're going to do is when you come back on stage, after you've done a few numbers, we're going to try and get as many people. We've got Tony Davis and we've got Al and we've got all the guys here who are going to get up with you and make not the biggest. We're not after Guinness Book of Records. We just want to make a big skiffle day and just resurrect the day, really. So, ladies and gentlemen, come on, you got a show for Perth Rock Appreciation. Chaz McDevitt, come on, let's hear it. Thanks, Chaz. Freight train, going so fast. Freight train, going so fast. I don't know what train he's on. Come on, Cal. Tell me where he's gone. Chaz McDevitt, come on. Thank you, Chaz. I just need a couple of guys to help me in, and we'll have Emma on stage.